The Dodgers cement their dynasty. Now the Dodgers and Blue Jays meet again, and the memories remain.
We were this close.
It's one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of.
What was a championship clash today is a regular season reunion. Same uniform, same superstars, and the same goal, just on a bit of a different stage. This time it's not about the trophy, it's about pride. And for the next 3 days in Toronto, there's a feel of October baseball back in the air. It's the Dodgers and the Blue Jays back at it again. From Rogers Center, just about ready for first pitch. The first of three, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. As this first road trip of the year continues, Dodgers sweep the Nationals and now set their sights on the reigning American League champion. The lineup for Game 1 is presented by your SoCal Helpful Honda dealers, and it looks like this. Get our first glimpse at what Dave Roberts is thinking with Mookie Betts on the injured list. Kyle Tucker bats second. Freddie Freeman moves up and hits third. Teoscar Hernandez, coming off a big weekend in Washington, is in left field. Muncy at third base, hitting fifth. Andy Pages, the top hitter in baseball so far, in center field hitting sixth. At second base, Alex Freeland. Dalton Rushing back-to-back starts. And Ha-Sung Kim makes his 2026 debut as the shortstop and nine-hitter. And they face off with a 41-year-old Max Scherzer, who has started his 19th year in the major leagues.
He has been very much decorated and earned it all. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he still wanted to pitch. He's signed a very small contract here, but has a lot of incentives. So if he gets up over 100 innings, 150 innings, he's going to make a lot of money still. But they really need him. This rotation has been devastated with injuries so far. Max had a very good outing against Colorado, threw the ball well, and I expect him to throw the ball well here tonight.
Yeah, they say the stuff is playing up. He's healthy this year, and you see the line that he had against the Rockies winning his season debut, just to run over 6 innings. And the guy that was on the mound in Game 7 last year faces off with the guy that was on the mound for the Dodgers in Game 7. Ohtani climbs in, and off we go. A first pitch fastball and a swing, fouls it back. The Dodgers sweeping the Nats. Yesterday down 6-1. No Mookie in the lineup. No Muncy. No Tucker. No Will Smith. No business winning that game. They get 4 scoreless innings from the bullpen to keep him in it. 7 unanswered to complete the sweep and get him to 7-2 overall. Blue Jays in a much different place. They just got swept by the Chicago White Sox. Scherzer's 0-2. Ohtani reaches out, flips it into the shallow center. Varsho makes a sliding catch. One of the best defensive center fielders in the game, Dalton Varsho.
Fastball, cutter, changeup has Ohtani out in front. Sometimes you get fooled as a center fielder, but Varsho breaks in immediately. Read that one perfectly.
One away. Here's Kyle Tucker. You might be thinking, why in the world the booze for a guy that wasn't even involved in the whole thing last year? Well, the Blue Jays were one of the teams that made the hottest push to get Kyle Tucker in free agency. Toronto offered 10 years, $350 million, so more than twice as long as he got from the Dodgers. Not nearly what he got in terms of annual value. There are several guys on this Dodger team that Toronto is right at the top of the list, but fell a little bit short in that free agent bidding.
Dodgers 1-2 punch. Could have been Blue Jays, but no, they're in Dodger blue.
Literally today, get the blue bomber jerseys back on. 13 runs, first time they wore these Friday. Kyle Tucker hit his first home run as a Dodger in that ball game. Really came to life against the Nationals, going 5 for 10.
Dodgers again with a W, out homering their opponent. 6-0 with that category.
They've hit more home runs than anybody in baseball. Good combo. You've led the majors in home runs. You're also hitting above 340 with runners in scoring position. A 3-1 to Kyle Tucker. Taken upstairs, ball 4. First base runner for LA.
If it was later in the game, we might have saw some challenges on a few pitches there.
And if there's any pitcher who's going to get emotional enough to be the challenge guy, you're looking at him in Max Scherzer. One out base runner, Freddie Freeman climbs in. A homer, 2 doubles, 6 knocked in this weekend. Take Scherzer's first pitch on the inside corner. Past Chipper Jones with his 2-double game over the weekend.
He hits them to all fields. There's power to all fields, but there's gap power in this man.
Hero of Game 3 last year. Take strike 2.
More cutters and curveballs and changeups to lefties, more sliders to righties.
Scherzer to Freeman with an 0-2. He got him swinging for his first strikeout of the night.
Fastball right down the middle at 91. Freddie, a lot of different thoughts probably from Scherzer. He usually tries to trick you, but he beats you with the heat.
Definitely has evolved over the course of his 2 decades in the majors. There were times where it was a well-rounded arsenal, but it wasn't trying to trick you. It was, here it is, try and hit it. Teoscar Hernandez with 2 out takes a little bit inside, but evolve or die. You don't pitch 19 years. You don't pitch into your 40s, as you can attest to, if you're not willing to change.
Yeah, you've got to put a square peg in a square hole, and the reason that shape changes is because of age.
Hernandez lifts a fly ball down the left field line. If it's fair, it's got a chance. It's gone. Teoscar Hernandez opens the scoring with a 2-run blast. Hit his first of the year yesterday, piercing the wind in Washington. No conditions to deal with today, and he smacks it out of here to make it 2-0. And flashbacks for Max Scherzer, Game 3 last year at Dodger Stadium.
That one a fastball. This one tonight a breaking ball. And it looked like Teo recognized it early and slowed his swing down tonight just to meet it. It wasn't a powerful swing. It was a well-timed swing, perfectly on the barrel. Very smooth and effective.
Dodgers absolutely crushed breaking pitches over the weekend in Washington. At about 380 against breaking stuff. And it's on a Scherzer slider that they get the 2-run home run from Teoscar Hernandez, who's now 10 of his last 20. Max Muncy chases the high heat, 1-1. Scherzer rocks and fires. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Started Game 3, started Game 7 of the World Series. Both those ended up in Dodger wins in extras. Game 7, though, he left with a 3-1 lead, 4 1/3, just 1 run. 2-2 on Muncy. I think there was some thinking that was going to be the last time we would see him pitch in the majors. He was sobbing after the game, leaning up against his locker. Of course, the crushing defeat, but kind of reading between the lines, you're thinking, did he just suffer a crushing defeat to end his career? But no, he's back. And much healthier. That thumb issue that he dealt with for a lot of last season, he's fixed by playing the piano. Give you a little more detail on how exactly those 2 things tie together as this night goes on. His 2-2 to Muncy. Taken low. Of course, for a lot of last year, he was terrible. He had a 5 ERA. Missed half of the season with the injury. There were times where he said, if I can't make my next start, this thumb doesn't heal, I'm done. I'm going to quit then. Didn't even make the Division Series roster. By the time it was all said and done, they were leaning on him in October. He gets 2 strikeouts in this first inning, but the Dodgers get 2 runs on the home run from Hernandez. Now it's Justin Robleski. He had his moment in Game 7 as well. His own fireworks. Here come the Blue Jays. George Springer heads up there to lead off. Then Davis Schneider with the left-handed starter for the Dodgers. Schneider gets the opportunity. Vlad Jr. bats third. Kazuo Komodo, one of the new Blue Jays. The cleanup man and third baseman. Ernie Clements at second. Varsho in center. Straw in right. Heineman does the catching with Kirk on the injured list. And Andres Jimenez has taken over everyday shortstop duties. Bo Bichette now with the New York Mets. So Robleski comes home with his first pitch of the day. It's a little bit low on George Springer. We saw Robleski pitch in relief in his season debut 1 week ago. He was one pitch away from having a spotless 4 innings. It was 0-2 on Rhys Hoskins with the bases loaded and 2 outs, wound up walking him, and 3 runs scored in that inning.
It was a rough finish to that outing, but it was a good outing overall, and I think he'll have a lot of confidence coming into this one. Just disregard the stats that you got in that and just take on the feeling and the mechanics and all the tools that you use to be that good. High 4-seam fastball is the foundational pitch. He'll throw about almost 50% of some kind of fastball. The slider's the #1 out pitch, but I'd love to see him start throwing a few more changeups. Statistically, it's a very good pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Springer. I was talking to him about the outing on Monday, and he was kicking himself. He said, look, the biggest thing for last year was I learned what makes me good, the fastball and the slider, and said I got too cute. I threw a curveball in that key spot against Hoskins, and he said right after I threw it, I'm like, what am I doing? Did I not learn last year that more is not always better? He said he's fighting himself, like you're always trying to get better, but that doesn't need to mean do more. Sometimes it's just lean on your strengths. So he was bummed that going to a pitch that he doesn't love led to that, and was excited to reestablish what he feels like makes him him today. Here's his 2-2.
Being excellent at a couple of things is much better than being average at 5 things. And so he does have 2 excellent pitches with the 4-seam fastball and the slider.
He's walked Springer to start the game.
Teo's home run puts them on their heels. You're looking for a shutdown inning to keep this momentum. Your first game in this ballpark since Game 7. The place is rocking.
Davis Schneider, who started Game 5 at Dodger Stadium last year with a home run against Blake Snell on the very first pitch, and always aggressive. He's up there hacking again. All these Blue Jays aggressive. That leads to balls in play. They don't strike out very often at all. A lot of action when you watch these Blue Jays. Schneider, a lefty killer. It's a start here against Robleski. Finds himself down 0-2.
He doesn't get cheated.
None of them do.
The guy on deck too. He's so good to watch. He is crazy good.
Even batting practice, you and me were sitting there marveling at how different it is when he's in there. Long pause, keeping Springer frozen over there, and then a ball high. Well, the Blue Jays, as they've dropped now 5 of their last 6 games after sweeping the A's to start the season, the offense just has not been there. 8 runs total during the 4-game losing streak. John Schneider said we've been playing games that scream not us. All the things that made them special last year in their run to the pennant, you know, putting the ball in play, running the bases well, tidy defense. It's all been missing. And the hope is that this is just a really bad 9 games. That had it fallen in the middle of the season, you wouldn't bat much of an eye at, and nothing more. Fly to left field. Teoscar Hernandez shy of the track has it. And up comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. At his best when the Blue Jays needed him to be that. You hope that when you sign a guy to a $500 million contract, you make him the face of your franchise, that he's the one you can count on in the biggest games, and he went to a level that he had never played to. Not many guys had. He hit .397 in the postseason. He had more home runs than he did strikeouts. So far this season, he's had the average, but not the power. Just one extra base hit for Vlad Jr. Cracks one the other way. Back goes Tucker onto the track at the wall. He's got it. Fires back to first. Springer's in there safely. Guerrero just misses. It stays 2-0, 2 out.
Routine fly ball for him, but it's a scary routine fly ball. He just barely misses it. It's got a little side spin instead of backspin that keeps it in the yard. The power went into the curving of the ball, not the distance.
2 away for Okamoto. Now, the only new face in this Blue Jays lineup from last year. Kaz Okamoto was a perennial all-star in Japan, 3-time home run champion there. Scorched to the left side, a base hit for Okamoto.
Saw a couple of home runs already on his resume over here, but since those home runs, he's had a lot of swing and miss, but he doesn't miss this one. Up fastball away that he pulls on the line. Easily gets through the 6-hole.
2 on, 2 out, and it's the almost hero, Ernie Clement. Almost all-time legendary hero, but you can still put the hero label on him with what he did through the postseason, setting a record 30 hits. Granted, more games these days in the postseason than there used to be, but that's not to take away from what was the greatness of Ernie Clement last postseason. .387 in the World Series, which was a notch below what he did for the full month. He had .411. Takes a strike, 1-1. In the 9th inning of Game 7, facing Yamamoto. He's thinking to himself, I know, they know, I like fastballs. He's going to throw me a first pitch curve. And sure enough, Yamamoto did. This is a fastball flexed into shallow center field. A base hit for Clement. Throw to the plate from Tucker, not in time. And the Blue Jays on the board, 2-1.
Okamoto hits a bullet. This is a jam shot, and it's just the perfect distance to get it there. Right on the label of the bat. Doesn't break it, but places it perfectly.
Saw that a dozen times throughout the postseason for the Blue Jays last year. Putting the bat on the ball, finding a home. So the Jays on the board in the first inning, 2-1, and Dalton Varsho stands in. Fouls off the first pitch into the glove.
First pitch fastball. The fastball is what's given up the hits so far in this inning. The 2 outs, 1 on a slider, 1 on a curveball.
Just to wrap up that thought on Clement, he got the curveball that he was looking for in the 9th inning against Yamamoto, and he said he put his absolute best swing on it, and off of the bat, like a lot of us thought, he thought to himself, I just walked it off in the World Series. And the Andy Pages from out of nowhere, one of the greatest catches in World Series history. Wroblewski's 2-1. Varsho takes high. Pages will lead off the next inning for the Dodgers. I'll give you his take on that play when he comes up. Base loaded. Second walk of the inning. 3 2-out base runners. Mark Pryor's out for a visit already, and we get a word from Archer.
Fuel your game day with Archer Jerky and Meat Sticks. Find them at grocery and club stores near you.
think this visit is about don't be so fine. Your stuff is good enough. Yeah, they hit one ball hard, but the blooper beat you. But the main thing that's beating you right now are deep counts and walks. The old cliche, trust your stuff.
So 7 men have come to the plate in this inning for the Blue Jays as Miles Straw comes up with Okamoto at third, Clement at second, Varsho at first. Straw known for his glove, 5 for 9 so far this year. Takes strike 1 from Robleski. Straw getting the start because Addison Barger yesterday injured not 1 but 2 ankles. It's impossible to injure any more than that. Did he go? No swing, 1-1. Bases loaded in the first. Straw looks at strike 2. Robleski finds himself in another bases loaded situation where he's got 2 strikes and 2 out, and a chance to limit the damage.
See if he learned his own lesson, which is don't be too cute here.
Missed with a slider, 2-2. Robleski deals. Straw grounds one towards the middle. Kim takes it himself and ends the inning. Both teams get on the board in the first. Jays, though, leave them loaded. 2-1 after 1. Andy Pages had been put into the game 2 batters before this. Ernie Clement launches one and thinks to himself, I just became a World Series hero. And then Andy Pages, out of the middle of nowhere, to make the catch, running over Kike Hernandez in the process. Dave Roberts had put him into the game not for his speed or his range, but for his arm. He thought if there was a play at the plate, he gave him the best chance to throw a guy out. But Andy made the catch that none of us will ever forget. He leads off this second inning against Max Scherzer with the Dodgers up 2-1. So I asked Andy today, that ball's hit. What goes through your head? He said the first thing I thought was, boy, Kike is shallow. And so he said, it's got to be me. He didn't think Kike had any chance to get to it. And then he said he kind of blacked out before getting there and making the catch. And so it wasn't until after the game when somebody came and told him, hey, that was your fastest sprint of the year, that he realized, yeah, I guess I was running pretty darn fast. And a 2-1 from Scherzer. Pokes it down the line. Foul, 2-2. Dave Roberts is saying you love communication between outfielders. Obviously didn't have it there, but it was a testament to how completely sold out both those guys were to saving the team's season. Two.
Kike's running full out back towards the wall. He's going to run into the wall. He doesn't care. He's trying to catch it. And Pages doesn't care that he's going to run into Kike.
And now Pages has his own Sandy Amoros moment we're talking about over the weekend. Game 7 of the Dodgers' first World Championship in 1955. Amoros, like Pages from Cuba, was playing left field and took away what would have been a go-ahead extra base hit from Yogi Berra in the left field corner. Dodgers went on to win it all for the first time. And no matter what Andy Pages does for the rest of his career, because Sandy Amoros didn't have a long decorated career, but his name lives on. We're still talking about it now 75 years later. Same will be the case for Pages, no matter what happens the rest of the way.
He will never erase that catch from our memory, and he will be talked about for a long time. But the way he's swinging the bat right now, if he keeps this up for about 10 years, you're going to be talking about a Hall of Famer.
Stays alive here.
It's crazy how much balance he has and how much rhythm he has so far this year compared to what we saw last year. Last year we saw timing in the streaks. We saw chasing in the streaks. This year so far, very much a professional hitter.
Pops it up down the line. Vlad and Clement out. Ernie Clement will put it away for the first out of the second. We're talking about Max Scherzer playing the piano, fixing his thumb, playing the piano. He hadn't played since he was a kid. His kid started to take lessons, and so he said to himself, why don't I mess around a little bit just to clear his head? But he noticed that his thumb, which had been bothering him for a year, was hurting less after he played. Here comes Alex Freeland. Freeland lifts the first pitch that he sees to right center field, routine for Miles Straw. 2 out in the second. And so he started playing more and more. Eventually he was playing an hour a day, and he said his entire hand started to feel stronger. The first thing he did when the World Series ended was buy his own piano for his home in Florida, because he was in a condo in Toronto that happened to have a piano when he started playing it late last season. And he plays every day still. He's back in the condo that he was in last year. He plays in the clubhouse no matter where they are. Ball one on Dalton Rushing, and he said he has no choice but to keep playing, because as soon as I stop, my thumb is going to start hurting again. So as soon as the music stops, it might stop for his career. Ball 2 on Rushing. Rushing getting back-to-back starts. Is a bit of a surprise to see his name in there today after he started yesterday's game. But Dave Roberts saying this is a good chance to get Will Smith an early back-to-back off day. Rushing collects a base hit with 2 gone here in the second. And Smith will be in there the next 2 days to catch Yamamoto and Ohtani.
Every swing that he makes like this, the home run yesterday and now a line drive on a breaking ball, it starts to clear Dalton Rushing's head and get some of the cobwebs out from last year, where he was known to be a great hitter when he got up here, but just did not perform.
Getting kept alive for Kim's first at bat of the year. Hasong was hitting .346 in Oklahoma City. Battled with Alex Freeland for the second base job throughout spring training, which went to Freeland, but with Mookie Betts going on the injured list, Kim gets the call up. And gets to put to the test all the things he was working on in his swing down there. Hammers this ball to center field. Varsho's going back. Biggest part of the yard will swallow it up and end the inning. In this game, you get a free Jumbo Jack from Jack in the Box tomorrow when you buy a large drink at LA area restaurants. Teoscar Hernandez with a first inning home run and a 2-1 lead for the Dodgers to the bottom of the second. 7 men came to the plate for the Jays in the first inning, but they left the bases loaded and settled for just 1 run. 8-9-1 here. The catcher out of the Palisades, Tyler Heineman. Strike 1 from Robleski.
Robo was trying to get him to chase in the first inning. He threw 16 pitches out of the zone. The spray pattern was pretty tight, but they only swung at 2 of those that were out of the zone.
Chopper, Kim for the first out. We get a word from California colleges.
Start your future at a California community college. Enroll today and apply for financial aid at icangotocollege.com.
Well, one of the million things that happened in that Game 7 was between these 2 guys, where it looked like Jimenez tried to get hit on one pitch, sort of stuck his hand out, and the next pitch actually did get hit by Robleski, and the bench is cleared. Rushing thought about a challenge there and then thought better of it. Ball 1. Robo was leaning into that, saying, I know they're probably going to boo me. There's so many things that happened in that game. I don't know how many of these people remember that Justin Robleski hit Andres Jimenez. We'll show them in case they forgot. Jimenez remembers.
The hitter is yelling, throw the ball over the plate, come on. And the pitcher is yelling, I didn't try to hit you. What are you reacting like that for? Go stand on first base. That's pretty much the Reader's Digest version without any of the colorful words.
Robleski, a guy who doesn't mind leaning into the villain persona, though. He was talking about how they thought he was going to boo him. Eager for that. Eager to be the guy that they don't like.
Pitchers will also say something like, you know what, you're one of the weaker hitters in the lineup. Do you really think I wanted to hit you? You know, when you hit a big guy, it's like, well, that could have been on purpose, or they're making sure they're coming in and not going to leave it out over the plate. When you're pitching to somebody down in the 8 or 9 hole, it's like, do you really think I wanted to hit you?
Did he go? No swing. 3-2. Robleski's payoff to right center field. Pages was shaded to left center, but he gets there easily. We're talking with Dave Roberts before the game today about his defense, and Dave said his reactions, his first step, it's been good, but it's gotten great.
Yeah, he mentioned confidence, because you got to be confident as an outfielder, because that first moment you read something, if you have confidence, you move on that read. But if you don't have confidence and there's a little bit of hesitation to make sure it's going to be there, you're going to be a step or two short.
Springer sends a high fly ball to left center field. Pages says, this is my territory. I don't know if you've seen the highlights, buddy. Presented by authority of the Los Angeles Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
The first 40,000 fans on April 15th will receive a Jackie Robinson jersey in commemoration of the first Dodger championship in 1955. That is presented by UCLA Health. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Blue Jays feel cursed. Max Scherzer has left the game after 2 innings. Jays already have 4 starting pitchers on the injured list. And now Scherzer leaves after 2 innings, and the crowd just getting wind of this. Didn't see anything during those 2 innings of work. Not much to write home about in his conversations in the dugout, but he's finished. So the bullpen, and Josh Fleming takes over. Top of the order for the Dodgers. A strike on Ohtani. Fleming pitching in the major leagues for the first time in 2 years. It's been last season in Japan.
Just got added to the roster today. Pitched in AAA Buffalo. Had 1 start there. Went 3 2/3 innings. He had given up 1 run down there in those 3 2/3.
Ohtani, who fly to center against Scherzer's out in front of this curve. And it's 1-2. All the preparation you do for the opposing starting pitcher goes out the window, and got to adjust right here. The 1-2 pitch. Jays, about a month and a half ago, one of the best things about them was their starting pitching depth. They had like 8 guys, and the question was, how are you going to find spot in a rotation for all these guys? But it tends to work itself out, and it's jumped the frog on that. Or jumped the shark on that. Dribbled in front of the plate, and a throwaway. Ohtani's going to turn the corner and go to second. More sloppy Blue Jays defense. A lot of that has been the pitchers in their fielding. And so Fleming will fit right in with that.
Definitely an E1 to get to second. Let's see how the official score grades it at the beginning. Shohei gets out of the box in a rapid way, and he might get a hit with that ball arriving near first. They're going to call it a 2-base error.
Hit and an error.
Hit and an error. I got your thumb signals wrong, Dr. Kudrowski.
There'd be a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
I know. I just caught the second half of it.
Leadoff man on. Kyle Tucker up. Walked in the first inning and scored on Hernandez's home run. Down the line. Foul. Fleming, one of 3 left-handers in this Blue Jays bullpen. The Dodgers have not hit lefties as well as they've hit righties so far, although that changed a little bit late in yesterday's game as they got to the Nationals' left-handed heavy bullpen. Tucker, who's always been good lefty on lefty, takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He attributes his lefty-lefty ability to years of wiffle ball with his left-handed older brother Preston, who was a big leaguer himself. You just chuck it at him. Of course, you're never taking it easy on little bro.
I just love it when you talk about an example like that, or I'll talk about something, and I just wonder how many kids are now having their older brothers throw to them left-handed and right-handed. Throw it as much as they can. Make it break. Make it look like it's going to hit me and go over the plate.
Don't actually hit me.
It's wiffle ball. You'll be fine.
Jumps out of the way. Count evens up. We talk about Andrew Friedman wanting to make the Dodgers a destination spot. They've very much done the same thing here in Toronto. Their facilities are incredible. The clubhouse and everything else around it. Grounder down the line, picked by Vlad Jr. He'll shovel it off to Fleming, who beats Tucker. Up to third goes Ohtani. And so it's no mistake that you see so many of these free agents these days. Blue Jays are right there at the end. But a hard time, though, getting guys to commit to them externally. This guy right here that made that play, of course, the one who chose to stay. And at third, 1 out. Infield comes in for Freddie Freeman.
Guerrero had 500 million reasons.
That helps. But Ohtani had 700.
Oh, yeah, I think the facilities definitely make you a drawing card. You're going to get a stronger look for sure. And with some guys, you'll get a look when you might not have if you wouldn't have improved your facilities.
Great city. Helps when the team's really good.
Great fan base.
2-0. Fleming deals. Freeman lifts a fly ball foul. Trips here to Toronto, always special for Freddie Freeman, who has dual citizenship. Both his parents from Canada. His dad, Fred, his late mother, Rosemary. And he said he always feels a little closer to mom when he comes here.
He and Teoscar got the warmest mixed reviews in the announcements of the starting lineup.
Freddie says almost every time that he's come here, he's had an envelope waiting at his locker that a distant relative would go into a picture album and find pictures of his mom when she was younger and share those with Freddie. Two and two. On the way, Freeman stays alive. Remembers going to Blue Jays games when they would come play the Angels, him growing up in Orange County and cheering on the Jays. Said he remembers one time when he was 7 or 8 years old, Canadian national anthem. He got ripped out of his seat. He's sitting there and his mom ripped him out of the seat, the glare on her face, and he never sat for the Canadian anthem again. It looked like that from mom.
Doing a good job here building the count to 3-2. This is his 42nd plate appearance of the year. The last at bat was only his 3rd strikeout.
Got Ohtani at third with 1 gone. Infield stays in. 3-2 comes home. Freeman drills a ball in the air, right center field. How far will it go? Big man power, Freddie Freeman. Not a question of if, but just distance. And Freddie Freeman way gone to make it 4-1. Heck of an at-bat right there.
Yeah, we're going to get to the crack of the bat because it was special. Fastball near the middle, and he doesn't miss it at all. That's the swing. Here comes the sound.
That was a Shohei sound.
It was really good.
Shohei ball flight, too, for his 99th as a Dodger. So it's their good old friend, the long ball. Has him in front 4-1. The guy that hit the first is up there right here, Teoscar Hernandez.
Teo hit a breaking ball. Started out the season 0 for 4 with 2 Ks on breaking balls. And lately, after that home run, he's 4 for his last 5.
Performance Spotlight is sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. And even overall, it was a slow first series. But you look up now, and he's hitting 350 something, 367. Grounded towards the middle for Jimenez. Gobbles it up, throws him out.
The club has done a nice job. When the offense has been flat, they've gotten outstanding pitching. When the pitching has been a little flat, they've got outstanding offense. That led to their major league tying best record at 7-2, on their way to 8-2 the way this game is going.
Muncy trying to get the bat going again. Curve loops in for a strike. He's 2 for 11 on this trip. 5 Ks. It was Muncy that had the first of the 3 home runs to win Game 7. His doesn't get talked about as much as the game tying shot from Rojas or the game winner from Will Smith, but none of those matter if not from Muncy. Ground ball, base hit, right center field for Muncy.
Left on left breaking ball. It's down, but he finds a way to get it through the hole. This carpet can be fast. That one only took 3 hops to get through.
Let's get a word from Carl's Jr.
What the cluck? The new Western Bacon Chicken Sandwich. Only at Carl's Jr.
Andy Pages with a runner at first and 2 out. The magic of last October has flipped upside down for the Blue Jays. It's been a torturous first couple weeks. Quality of play and the injuries. One thing that they can take some comfort in is that 2 months into last year, they were still below 500. John Schneider seemingly was on the hot seat at that point. And not even 2 weeks in here. Two years ago, they were a last place team. Pages smokes one through the legs of Okamoto. Down into the left field corner. Picked up by Schneider. Muncy stops at third. Pages into second.
The closer you are to home plate, the lower your posture needs to be as an infielder. You have less time to get the glove down, and this one scoots between his legs. It is a shot down there. He's in a good posture. He just olays it. Oh, went to the side of his glove.
Down the street of the Hockey Hall of Fame, he goes 5-hole. And an error. 2-base error. Second one of the game for the Blue Jays already. Freeland with a 2-out chance. Seven errors their last 7 games now.
Dodgers still only have one Will Smith's throwing error.
Yeah, none in the field.
Yeah.
On a 1-1, Freeland takes outside, getting a chance here against a left-handed pitcher, of which he'll have more of with Mookie Betts on the injured list. Left-handed swing is his better one. The 2-1. Freeland swings and misses. 2-2. All 4 runs coming on home runs. Trying to flex that wrist muscle. Muncy at third. Pages at second. 2-2. Freeland stays alive.
Fleming with his curveball, his breaking stuff other than that, and his 91-mile-an-hour fastball. There's nothing intimidating. He's trying to get the Dodgers to hit it on the ground, which Pages did, just didn't get it scooped up.
Another 2-2. Shot to short. Jimenez off a hop. Loads up, throws low, and Guerrero picks it from his seat. Wow, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. bails out Jimenez and avoids another defensive lapse. Freddie Freeman, though, goes deep, and it's like Game 7 never ended. 3 home runs to win Game 7, 2 home runs to lead Game 1 of this set.
Opening week, the Dodgers wore their new gold jerseys and caps commemorating their World Series win last fall. Head to MLBshop.com to score the same ones.
Strike one on Davis Schneider. Justin Robleski pitching with a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Ball and a strike.
10-pitch second helped Robo as far as get the pitch count a little bit more in order.
For a long first inning where the Jays got one but left the bases loaded.
That was a 29-pitch inning, so he needs a couple more that are in the lower part of the number of pitches you need.
Dodgers would like to see him get into the 5th inning today. Dave Roberts mentioned 80, 85 pitches. Robleski last year just kept on dusting himself off, didn't he? Right around this time last year, gave up 8 runs in a game in Washington in his first start of the year, was sent down to AAA. And he says the best thing that happened to him, getting hit that hard, having to really look himself in the mirror and go down to AAA and figure himself out, find out what made him good. Strikes out Schneider for the first out of the third. Comes back up. He's pitching pretty well, but then he got rocked again in September. Gave up 5 runs without getting an out, and cost himself a spot in the postseason roster. He wasn't on the Division Series roster, the Championship Series roster. But he stayed ready. When Alex Vesia had the family tragedy, a roster spot was open that Robleski took. A little high on Vlad Jr. And he said that's what he's most proud of, that he stayed ready for the moment. Hadn't pitched in more than a month when he came in the World Series. 4 games, did not give up a run, including Game 6 and Game 7. Always confident. Doc was saying, though, he's got a big league reason for that confidence now.
Trying to pitch Vladdy up and went ball 1, ball 2, and right there just trying to get a strike, missed. Vladdy, a very good low ball hitter. Glad he's taken that one.
You say glad he's taking that one or Vlad he's taking that one?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. He's got a walk. Third one issued by Robleski. Let's go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, coming into the spring with Justin Robleski, it was just clear that he came to camp with a different level of confidence. And you guys talked about the results he got playing in the World Series, but he told me that for him, it was just being trusted in those opportunities for the team to be willing to give him the ball, for him to go out there and perform. He said that made a huge difference, just who he is as a big league player now. And so a lot of the confidence he feels today stems from that World Series.
His open, it is rung up a double play, and he did. Kirsten, 6-4-3. The finish off the Blue Jays in the third. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Serving up handcrafted pizza, crispy fried chicken, and famous Mojo potatoes since 1954. The MVP of the World Series, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, will pitch tomorrow's game for the Dodgers. It's Kevin Gausman, who is off to an historic start. Dodgers lead 4-1. Dalton Rushing leading off this fourth inning. If you happen to just tune in, Max Scherzer leaving the game after 2 innings, and Josh Fleming has taken over for him. His Blue Jays debut has not gone well. Gave up a 2-run home run to Freddie Freeman in the third, and he hits Dalton Rushing to start the fourth. Leadoff man on. Kim coming up. Hesong was on the field defensively for just 1 inning last postseason. The 11th of Game 7. So yeah, he's going to see Hesong. And the clips of the last out. Bunts through this. Strike one. His moment of fame during the World Series was racing Dave Roberts before Game 6. Doc bet him $100 he could beat him going first to third. Doc lost the bet. Lost his footing, blew a hamstring coming around second. Took him a month before the hamstring felt okay. Said, you know what, if it helped us loosen up and win the next 2 games, it's all right. I'll go on the IL.
Those are fun distractions when your manager gets involved in the team chemistry at that depth.
Kim, who had just 1 sacrifice as a rookie last year, peels out of the way. Our producer Mike Levy just asked, "Oh, you ever race Tommy?"
I said every night to the food line so I could get some. Tommy threw an awful lot of batting practice. He didn't race many people.
Well, look, he did what he did. Tommy was a pitcher. Doc was a base stealer.
Exactly.
Bunted foul. Guys just don't know how to bunt these days because largely they're not asked to, and so they don't devote the time to practice it.
Yeah, I think when you join a championship team and you can analyze your role and you're instructed what your role is, it probably should be something that you work on a little bit more than going into the playoffs.
Swings away, lofts a fly ball down the line that will become a souvenir. Dodgers don't have a sacrifice yet this year. $13 of them last year. Another 2-2. The count goes full on Kim.
Kim glancing down at Dino Ebel to see if Rushing will be started. I would doubt it with Ohtani on deck.
And Kim's strikeout issues. He takes ball 4. First to have reached 8 and 9. Teeing things up for Shohei.
Breaking ball doesn't make it to the plate. You are messing with fire now.
Fleming having to wear it here, having to find a way to figure it out. It's the Blue Jays team that needed 7 innings from their bullpen yesterday because Eric Lauer was pitching with the flu and only lasted 2. Josh Fleming is here in an emergency situation. Well, the sirens are going off. Scherzer leaves after 2. First and second, nobody out. Ohtani takes the ball.
He might be a fireman that's bringing gas instead of water.
Yeah, this is not what you were supposed to do. Ohtani with his single has extended his on-base streak to 41 games back to last year. Waits on a breaking pitch, sends it a mile high. Playable for Varsho. Both runners tagging. Kim trying to take second and will. Varsho's got great wheels out there, but his arm not his biggest strength, and the Dodgers, knowing that scouting report, pedal to the metal. Both runners advance.
It's well done. Beating him on the details a little bit right there.
I think Kyle Tucker has heard the loudest boos of anybody.
You think on a fan's mind when they see a number that Toronto has offered and a number that the Dodgers have offered, and it's like, we offered more money. You must not like our city.
And if I'm Kyle Tucker, I'm saying, but wait a minute, I have to work for you 10 years to make that money instead of 4 to make close to as much? I like your city just fine. Infield in here. 0-1 pitch. High fly ball to right field. Did he get enough of it? Straw is back with Varsho, and Varsho's got it on the track. Couple productive outs, though, from the big guys at the top of the order, and the Dodgers lead 5-1. Sacrifice fly, Kyle Tucker. And now Freddie Freeman. No question if he got enough.
No, it was just, where's it going to land?
Alex Vesia was so fired up, betraying the fact that he probably had Freddie in the pool today.
That means one less energy drink.
Or do you shotgun one? Means one more.
Ooh.
Don't recommend that, kids.
Yeah. Freddie's got very short memory when it comes to hitting. The at-bat before the home run was a strikeout.
Dodgers getting a run here the same way they got the tying and go-ahead runs in the comeback yesterday. Productive outs from Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Tucker. In a lot of ways, the Blue Jays outplayed the Dodgers in the World Series, and I don't mean to go too deep on the topic here with 2 outs and 2 strikes, but it feels like the right time to mention the little things showing up, because Dave Roberts said if there's any lesson to how they won the World Series, even though statistically they got outplayed, the answer would lie in doing the little things well. Little things, and you pointed out big moments.
Yep. I think they won the details in the moments. Secondary lead, the tough hop at second base and still get the throw home. Will Smith's toe on the plate.
Payoff pitch to Freddie Freeman is taken for ball 4.
Pages being put into the game to cover for defense. Even though it was for his arm, he got the range. Miggy Rojas staying ready, hadn't hit for about a month, ends up getting the tying home run in Game 7.
Pete Walker for a visit here as Tasker Hernandez is going to come up. Dave is saying how nice it is to be here without the stress. Man, that was a stressful time. Of course, the way to the World Series, but then back here for Game 6 and 7. Remember, came back here down 3 games to 2. They asked him what were the most stressful moments. He said, geez, where do I start? From Bichette's home run, this place is going crazy, to the 9th inning right up until Rojas saved him. And even after Rojas saved him, the bottom of the 9th, possible escape from that. Constant stress.
So stressful that a lot of the guys, including Dave, they just can't watch the World Series. They don't think it's going to turn out the way it did.
Jack Harris did a piece in the California Post today. He asked a bunch of guys, did you doubt? And of course, not many are going to admit there had to be plenty of doubt that it was going to end that way. Challenge coming right here. And it did miss.
The call is confirmed.
So the call confirmed. They lose a challenge. And the count's 2-0 on Teoscar Hernandez. I think he interviewed or polled 16 guys, and 11 of them said that they never doubted. Come on. So 11 of them said they never doubted, and 5 of them were honest.
I'm not sure I let my thinking get to doubting in those situations, but you definitely are nervous. Like bad things could be around the corner. Definitely more nervous watching a game that I'm a teammate than pitching in a game that I'm a teammate. Watching is hard.
Deuces wild for Teoscar Hernandez. Dodgers have a 5-1 lead. A run in the bank here in the 4th without the benefit of a hit. Fleming to Hernandez. Couldn't lay off. Strike 3. Strand a couple here. They do add one though. Lead it 5-1. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th for the Dodgers. Blue Jays' lone run came in the 1st inning. Ernie Clement knocked it in and knocks the first pitch foul from Robleski. 5, 6, and 7 here. Varsho and Straw to follow. Robleski after that 29 pitch first. 10 and 11 the last 2 innings. Driven in the air to right center field. Pages on his horse. Under it. 1 out. He's making tough plays look easy. How fast he's running.
He really is. And if you get a good jump, you also have good strides right away. Hesitation can shorten or give you a choppy step at the beginning and you don't have the momentum. So he's building some very good momentum to stride out to where the ball's landing.
1 away, Dalton Varsho. Guy who knows something about elite center field defense. That's his calling card. That and power. Varsho last year at 20 home runs in half a season. Down 0-2. Then it was Varsho up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tie game. All he needed to do was elevate the ball like he does so well. Grounded out to Miguel Rojas at second. You talk about the guys having a hard time rewatching some of the parts of the World Series. Rojas has watched his home run 1,000,000 times. He refuses to watch back that play at second base. Too scary for him. Pop up left side. Muncy's got it.
57 pitches for Robo. 2 outs here in the 4th. Pitch count solid. But the key to the ingredient of what he's doing right now, he's getting a lot of weak contact. Only 4 hard hit balls off of him.
Hadn't given up a hit since Clement's RBI knock in the 1st inning. 2 up and 2 down. Now Miles Straw goes after the first pitch. And it's 0-1.
They're not swinging and misses much. And he's not striking out that many guys, but he is getting the weak contact.
Oh, and 2, just like that.
And he is leaning on his 2 pitches, the fastball and the slider.
Taking the lessons from that first outing where he thought he got a little bit too cute.
Starting pitchers are going to be starting to ask for these blue tops. Dodgers got 13 runs and 16 hits in the first time they wore them. They got 5 runs today in them.
A swing and a miss from Straw. That ball trickles into play. Robleski throws it down to first, and Straw's aboard.
I'm just glad Freddie's not hurt. Those are the ones where first baseman's elbows are in danger, and dislocated shoulders, throw going into the runner, and contact being anticipated.
Ricochets off. Dalton rushing. Freddie did his best to stay healthy right there and almost catch it.
Yeah, he was just staying away from getting injured, which was a good call in a 5-1 game. Game 7 of the World Series, he steps into that and tries to catch it. Game 10, 5-1 lead, let it go.
And he's still alive. Tyler Heineman punches one past the mound. Ricochets off it to the second baseman Freeland, and that'll wrap it up. Hernandez and Freeman with home runs, and the Dodgers with a 5-1 lead as they look for a 4-0 start to this road trip. Joe Davis, Earl Hershiser, Kirsten Watson. It'll be Muncy, Pages, and Freeland coming up here in the 5th. Josh Fleming stays on, took over much earlier than anybody thought that anybody would, with Max Scherzer leaving the game after 2 innings for undisclosed reasons. Muncy 1 for 2. He singled his last time.
This offense has really found its legs. They're first in home runs. They're third with runners in scoring position.
Under Vlad Jr. Ricochets to second. And oh my goodness. Bad news, Jays. It's unrecognizable. It looks more like the 2024 last place Blue Jays than the 2025 pennant winner that fell an out away from a World Series.
Fleming is late. Guerrero doesn't get it in the glove. And this ball is pretty much thrown away because the pitcher was late getting there.
Give him a hit on this one.
Well, if Vlad feels it, the pitcher's got to be there, and he might have been late.
Pages bounces one towards the middle and through. Andy Pages with his first hit of the ball game, and they've got him cornered with nobody out.
Finding some holes on this carpet. You hit it firmly, it's got a chance to scoot through.
2 on for Freeland. And again, 10th game of the year. Blue Jays probably be fine. But I think part of the reason that it hurt so bad for Toronto and Blue Jays fans is it ain't a guarantee they're going to get another shot. Freeland squares, punts it foul.
As much as everybody just wants to pencil the Dodgers in and winning the National League West, winning the National League, being in the World Series, it's more of a crapshoot than you know compared to the regular season and having the tremendous amount of ability they have. Look at the edges of them barely winning the World Series at back-to-back times. You can be the favorite, but the odds can still be long.
Freeland one sacrifice last year in the big leagues and none in his 4 years in the minors. He was always the best hitter on his team. Bunch of them in college, though, at Central Florida. Muncy and Pages both with singles in this fifth. Middle infielders play halfway. Corners are in. Freeland shoots it up the middle. Clement has it. Steps on the bag. Over to first for 2. Run comes in, and it's 6-1.
It's the one time you drive a run in, you don't get an RBI when they get 2 outs on you.
So many little wrinkles to the scorebook and the rule book that at some point somebody made a decision on, and it stuck there forever.
Let's change it.
Think you should get one? Rushing. Fouls it off.
Well, he did come in because you hit the ball forward. You didn't strike out.
Should you get a sac fly when you move a runner up from second?
I'm sure somebody's going to invent those stats and have, people will look at it and see, is that the kind of player I want on my team that gets little things done like that? And that would be some of the smallest of the little things. I think when the ball falls between 3 fielders, I think the pitching fraternity would say that needs to be a team error. When all 3 are there just kind of staring at each other and all had plenty of time to get under it and catch it.
Outside on Rushing, who's reached both times in this game, single, and he was hit by pitch. Base hit to center field. Rushing taking advantage of these couple days in the lineup.
This is what we saw in the minor leagues before he got to the big leagues. A left-handed hitting, sweet swinging catcher.
He's reached his last 4 times up, including that home run yesterday. So 6-1 lead, runner at first, 2 out, and Ha-Seong Kim lined out and walked today. They're talking about somebody at some point made a decision about stats and rules, and Dodger organization the first to employ a full-time statistician. Alan Roth, back in the golden days in Brooklyn, 40s into the 50s. First guy to really look at splits in baseball, break things down left versus right, home versus road. And those first Dodger championship clubs, all those guys will tell you he played a significant role in that, gave him an edge. The same way that analytics these days looks for an edge, Alan Roth was looking for it at the very beginning of that. 1-2 to Kim.
The stats, and then the preparation of those stats, and then the interpretation of those stats by the coaches, and then imparting that to the players. You just don't want to get paralysis by analysis. You want to still be an athlete and compete. And some can handle more information than others and still be an athlete and still compete. And others, it kind of locks them up a little bit. Makes them feel like they got a straitjacket on, that they have to throw a fastball in here because it is statistically the right pitch.
And more of it than ever these days. You can get buried under it if you let yourself.
What is happening in the present tense, I think, is more important than the past, but the past does have some influence on what you're deciding in present tense. Because every situation is different. You know, the best pitch to throw here to this guy is a breaking ball, or it's not a breaking ball. And then you say to yourself, but not my breaking ball today. My breaking ball today is like unhittable.
Joe Mantiply, former All-Star with the Diamondbacks. Kim, after falling behind, has worked it to a full count, so to give Rushing a head start. There he goes. Here it comes. Kim loads up and pops it up. In shadow right, Ernie Clement, called off by Miles Straw. That does it for the Dodgers in the fifth. They add another. We're halfway home. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Happy Dodger birthday to Carlisle Red Smith. Called him Red because of his red hair. Third baseman for Brooklyn, 1911 through 1913. He was playing semi-pro baseball and studying to be an engineer. Just about set to retire from semi-pro to focus on the engineering thing, when a Dodger scout said, you're not going to be an engineer. You're coming to play for us. He was in the majors 2 months later. Andres Jimenez leads off the fifth for the Blue Jays. Takes outside from Justin Robleski. 2 balls and no strikes. Happy birthday, Red, wherever you are. Tapper along first. Robleski bare hands, races and beats the dive. A lot going on that play.
That's a sweet play by a great athlete. You can be a pitcher, and the everyday players will kid the pitchers about, you're not athletes, you're just pitchers, but it's a pretty athletic move right there. He's trying to have a nice quick inning, not get to what would have been the fifth hitter in this inning. That would be Vlad Guerrero Jr. But if he can get 3 outs and 4 batters, not have to face him, he's got a chance to keep himself in line for a W and take another inning off the board for the bullpen.
Only 66 pitches after that long first, 29 in the first inning. Nobody's warming in the Dodger bullpen. At the top, George Springer swings through it, strike 1. The hope was that he could get into the fifth, and he's got a chance to exceed that.
He's doing a great job after a 29-pitch first inning where he gives up a run.
Robleski, 25 years of age. Couple years going back and forth. Fly to the right field corner for Kyle Tucker. And still not clarity as far as am I a starter, am I a reliever. He's still at a position in his career on a roster like this where he's got to be ready for whatever the team asks, and more than happy to play that role. That's life in the Dodge organization. What a gift to be in this organization, but at the same time, for a player trying to break in, that's tough.
You got Ben Kasparius, you got River Ryan, who's trying to get healthy. You got Blake Snell, who's trying to get healthy. You got Emmett Sheehan already in the rotation. You got Sasaki having some problems getting his legs underneath him. You got Robo. They got a lot of candidates to be able to slip in or are already in.
2 outs for Davis Schneider. 2-0. 6 games in a row here. This plugging him into the rotation allows them to get Ohtani his full rest. And based on the schedule, Robleski will toggle back and forth based on the schedule and based on a number of other factors. Who gets healthy, who stays healthy, who performs. Did not see many looks like that back in October. Remember Dave telling us how happy he is to be here without stress. 4-pitch walk to Schneider.
It's a bad walk, 6-1, coming into the meat of their order. That's one of those that you really need to just throw the ball down the middle of the plate and go strength against strength. Let your fielders do the work.
Now you got to do the work against Vlad Jr. in a 6-1 game. Upstairs with a slider. Vlad just missed a home run his first time and then walked. Obleski's issued 4 of those. Ball 2. Ball 6. A visit from Rushing. Let's get a word from Morongo.
Eddie Griffin live and unleashed April 17th. Morongo.
Obleski looking for his second win as a starting pitcher, and it would be his first since August of 2024. Two and one. Ball 3. Okamoto, the on deck hitter. Still nobody throwing. See Alex Vesia stirring down there. But that's just Alex being Alex, perhaps. Baltimore chop right side. Bare hand play by Freeland, and Freeman holds the bag. Alex Freeland joining Justin Robleski with a couple nifty plays in this inning. This is sweet. So the Dodgers right now looking for a 4th straight win.
Celebrate our classroom teachers on April 11th. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Teacher Appreciation Night crew neck sweater. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Dodgers have a 6-1 lead. To the top of the 6th inning. They've scored in 4 of the 5 innings so far. They got 5 innings of work from Justin Robleski. He's getting high fives and rehashing things with Mark Pryor and Connor McGinnis. In position to get his first win in almost 2 years. Top of the order in Ohtani. Joe Mann applies on the pitch.
Robo didn't give a hit up on a breaking ball tonight. Slider 0 for 8, 1K. Curveball 0 for 2.
Mann applying his 9th major league season. His first one with the Blue Jays. 6 years with the Diamondbacks. That included an all-star season in 2022. Pitched in the all-star game at Dodger Stadium. 2-1 on Ohtani. This is his second game with the Jays. 1 1/3 scoreless innings in his first. 35 years old from Danville, Virginia. And he's put together quite a career for a guy who's a 27th round draft pick. Ohtani digs it out, sends it in the air, center field. Varsho back. It is gone to center field. Ohtani's 3rd in 4 games on the trip.
Joe, he's a pretty good hitting pitcher.
Yeah.
We'll see him in game 3 on the mound. In game 1 here in Toronto, you get to see this.
Three hits on the homestand. 4 straight multi-hit games with 3 home runs on the trip.
With the Dodger come from behind victory yesterday, If you go back the last 10 innings, they've scored in 8 of them. The offense is getting it done.
Tucker's 0 for 1. He's got a walk and a sacrifice fly.
That sac fly was the Dodgers' 4th of the year, which is the most in Major League Baseball. So you're number 1 in home runs, you're number 3 in runners in scoring position, and you're number 1 in sac flies.
One of those little things. Swinging bunt rolled along the line, foul.
That stays fair. That's a little thing. Ohtani hits the ball to center field, and we have to watch it, but it looked like in the box he knew it was gone. He knows his own strength. Anybody hits it to center, you're kind of like, is it going to be gone or not? That's a long way.
Two and two. Know thyself. Know thy swing.
Well, he did
a little sprint there.
A little sprint there, yeah. I think he hit it thinking that's gone, and then he's like, I better run.
Tucker lays off, and the count's full.
Park plays pretty neutral here, you think? You saw a lot of games here.
Yeah, depending on roof open, roof closed. It'll be closed for all 3 games here.
Thank you.
Yeah, right? A little chilly out there.
It was a little flurries hitting the windshield of the bus in the half-mile ride over here.
Stepped off the plane last night and thought I was going to get blown away.
Yeah.
Homer walk, and now Freddie Freeman, and that's what he's got today. Homer walk. We were talking plenty about the rings, championship rings giveaway in the opening homestand. Not giveaway, but earned. And they're asking Dave Roberts what he does with his rings. And he's like, yeah, you know, put them in a safe and, of course, appreciate them, but just not my thing to wear those around. There is one thing that he got from the World Series, though, that he treasures above everything else. The last out that ended in Freddie Freeman's glove, the double play, about a half an hour after the game, celebration's done, Dave goes back into his office, and Freddie's sitting in there waiting for him with the ball. And Freddie said, "This is yours." And
that's awesome.
Dave said it was one of the most meaningful gestures he's ever had given to him. He said, look, yeah, I've been a player. I know players normally think about players as they should, but to have that gesture to say, hey, we see you and what you've meant to us and what you meant for this Game 7 and for this World Series, something he'll never forget. And so the ring shiny for that ball, more meaningful than any of them. And the fact that it came from this guy.
Yeah.
Dave holds in the highest regard. The home run ball that Miguel Rojas hit, he has since signed at your store, Legends Attic. The guy that caught it.
It was there on display, and Miggy was asked to sign it.
Another well-hit ball off of the bat of Freddie Freeman that is picked off by Straw. Miles Straw. Wonderful range to take extra bases away from Freeman in the first out of the 6th.
L9 in your scorebook, but you could put a star next to it for the jump and the catch. Freddie disappointed, but boy, has he been barreling up a lot of balls since the beginning of this season.
Oh,
turf monster.
Got him. Man at first for Tasker. Hernandez started the scoring with a home run. Rojas said his own personal keepsake that he has from Game 7 is his batting gloves that he used hitting that home run, but he has plans for those as well when he and his family go back to Venezuela next offseason. He's thinking of taking those gloves and giving them to his church as a gift.
His wife that told him he was going to do something special very close to the church also. It was one of her suggestions. You're going to do something special, Mickey. I promise. But honey, I'm not even playing.
I haven't had a hit in a month.
I just can feel it. I've been praying about it, and I feel it. It's coming.
Dave Roberts felt something too. 4-pitch walk. Dodgers have been all over the bases in this game. They've got 9 hits. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 walks, a hit batter, 5 walks, a hit batter, a couple of errors they've gotten base runners on. Unsightly for the Blue Jays and their fans, where the Blue Jays players talking about we've turned the page, starting a new season. The wounds are still deep and open for Blue Jays fans. Tommy Nance in the Jays pen.
Yeah, you could tell around the organization that they've turned the page and they're trying to kind of forget about it and put the energy into this year. But yeah, they also say around the organization that the fans have not forgotten. That wound is going to be there for a while.
John Schneider has said that there are things that he'll think about until the day he dies or they win one. 0-1 on Muncy. 1-1 on Muncy.
Max had a total of 11 hits off of left-handers last year. He's 4 for 7 this year. Healthy and feeling good.
As a team, the last 2 games, lefties against lefties, Dodgers are 10 for 20 with 4 homers.
Wow. Almost want the lefties to face righties.
Uppercut and a miss and a changeup. Strike 3, 2 out. Looks like Nance is going to come on for Pages. 7-1 ball game. Dodgers have him at first and second. Already a run in the bank on a Shohei Ohtani home run. Third of the game for LA. Third of the trip for the great one. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win $75 grand prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. A 7-1 ball game. The Dodgers in front inside Rogers Center. Tommy Nance out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Pence had to work early and often tonight with Scherzer lasting just 2 innings. Yet to get official word why. Pages the hitter with runners at first and second and 2 out.
Nance made his first opening day roster. Throws an awful lot of sliders and curveballs. Almost 80%.
First opening day roster at the age of 35 for the Woodrow Wilson product. Long Beach.
Gets a lot of ground balls with his slider. Throws it for a strike about 70% of the time.
2-0 on Pages. Here it comes. Slider for a strike.
My generation, a guy named Slider Man, Larry Anderson, the announcer for the Phillies for a long time. There's few right-handed relievers that end up having sliders as their pitch.
Tucker takes off, throw to third, not in time. Stolen base, Kyle Tucker. Just under the tag.
Got a nice jump. Very aggressive with his lead and anticipating that the pitcher's going to go home. You see how early he broke even before Nance raised his leg. Tucker was off. That little bit of taking that risk with the lead made him safe at third.
They're going to challenge here. I wonder if they're hoping that he popped up. Because first look, thought it was obvious that he beat the tag. Hernandez did ride his heels into second. So second and third here, pending the challenge.
Safe there. I think he's safe. The oven mitt touches, then the fielder glove touches, and he stays in contact with the bag the whole time.
His third stolen base. League average during his career, 78% success rate. He's 88%. Now that is not limited option or limited tries. 3 of the last 4 years he's had 25 plus.
I'm really kind of surprised they challenged, as safe as he looks.
I'm surprised he's taken this long.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The winner is safe. Toronto loses this challenge.
So a double steal. Second and third for Pages with a 3-1 count. That 88% success rate is the best since 1934. Wow.
Wow. Minimum of 120 stolen bases. So that's, I would say there's some better percentages out there, but yeah.
Driven to right center field by Pages. Straw and Varsho on the run. Won't get there. Pages has knocked in 2 more with a double. And the Dodgers unloading on the Blue Jays in this World Series rematch.
It's hard to be the best player on the Dodgers. It's even harder to try and almost be the best player in baseball, but he's taking a run at it right now in the first 10 games.
He's now knocked in a dozen. 2 for 4 tonight. That average that came in at 471 has gone up. And you add that with elite defense in center field. Yeah, it's 10 games, but for 10 games, there's no more valuable player in baseball than Andy Pages.
And it hasn't been lucky. I think we've seen 1 soft hit. That's it. Seven multi-hit games in his first 10.
2-0 on Freeland, who's trying to join the party. 0 for 3 today and 1 for his last 19.
Dave Roberts going to have a tough time keeping Andy Pages down in the second half of the lineup.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Because Doc has thought about it and talked about it. Yeah, you see the obvious reasons for moving him up, but Doc's saying he sees the value in keeping him down there.
I think there's some balance to it. I think it's a multifaceted decision. What do you do to the players' egos that are used to hitting near the top of the order in the first 4 or 5? And do you risk Andy getting out of his groove by moving him up? So I think it's something that Andy's going to have to knock the door down, that the player he's moving will understand completely, and that Andy is in such a good place it doesn't matter where he hits.
Pages through 10 games last year was a 100 hitter. 3 for his first 30. He's at 474 to lead the big leagues through 10 games this year. And he takes off for third. Freeland went around, strike 3. Dodgers get 3 more. 9-1 over the Jays. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Jacoby and Myers, and a hero of the World Series last year, and Will Klein. What he did in Game 3, 4 scoreless innings, the last 4 innings of the 18-inning thriller. Made his name similar to Pages, even if he doesn't do anything else. His name will last. People talk about that 25 World Series. Delivers to Okamoto, the cleanup man for the Blue Jays, and gets strike 1. So Robleski tonight, Oro goes 5 innings. He gives up the 1 run in the very long first inning. Does not give up a hit after that.
I think he checked all the boxes of coming off of that rough statistical outing. Not the way he threw the ball. An 0-2 count that turned out to be a 3-2 walk that scored the first run off of him, and bases loaded, no out situation he almost got out of.
Okamoto with an opposite field hit. First knock for the Jays, and Cerny Clement drove in a run with a single in the first. New center fielder for the Dodgers, Alex Call, in a 9-1 game, has replaced Andy Pages.
On the turf here, that carpet can take a toll on your legs. Dave Roberts looking up there at an 8-run lead and says, you know, let's get our center fielder that's hot. Let's not take any risks with him. We got 2 more games on the carpet.
Leadoff man on, and Clement punches one past the mound to second. Freeland has made another nice play. So he's not taking his struggling bat to the field with him. 1 gone in the 6th as Okamoto moves to second.
It was a frustrating bat, the last one. 2 strikes, 2 out. Pages on second, and Pages decides to try and take third. I'm sure that was a distraction to him. You don't anticipate your own teammate causing some peripheral vision distractions, and then he punches out. But yeah, you're right. He is playing the whole game because he's not taking the at-bats into the field.
Dalton Varsho, 1 on, 1 out.
Fastball, curveball, sweeper, and cutter. The 2 main ones are the fastball and the curveball.
And Will Klein's still relatively new to pitching. He was a catcher for most of his baseball life.
He's on the Kenley Jansen track.
Varsho flies it to center field. Alex Call put it away. 2 out. And Okamoto to third. Kenley pitching for the Tigers. Here's Miles Straw. Miles Straw was acquired by the Blue Jays last year from the Houston Astros. At the time, largely to clear money to be able to sign Roki Sasaki. So that's how sure the Blue Jays were. They were in on Sasaki, how confident they were going to get him. We talked about Tucker and Ohtani choosing the Dodgers over the Blue Jays, but Sasaki was another. They've hung on to Straw, who's been a valuable piece for him with his defense, and had some injuries in the outfield last year where he played a bunch. A former junior college walk-on. Didn't have any scholarship offers coming out of high school, and so he had a buddy going to St. John's River Community College in Florida, and he said, I'm going to follow you. By the time he was done there, he got drafted.
Just saw the elevated breaking ball right there with man on third and 2 outs. You got to trust your catcher. you still got to try and execute the pitch where you make it go in the dirt if that's what you're going to throw. The modern catching stance behind home plate with a man on third and 2 outs make you a little bit nervous sometimes if you're old school. One knee down drops and you throw it a little wide and they're kind of locked up in their hips.
Challenge from Rushing.
The catcher is challenged to call the ball.
I got it a little wide, but Dalton's back there. It is really close.
The call is confirmed. Los Angeles has one challenge remaining.
People at home are saying, well, we have it wide too. We see on the screen the strike zone. For the record, folks, we don't get to see that little strike zone on the screen that you do. It's not allowed inside stadiums. Here's the payoff to Straw. Poke to second. Freeland picks it. Alex Freeland keeps on playing defense. Oh, he has put on a show out there tonight. That's 3 excellent plays for the Dodgers second baseman. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA. It's brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. Good times for the Dodgers in this game. They've scored in 5 of their 6 offensive innings and lead 9-1. Dalton Rushing has reached base all 3 times. 2 hits, and he was hit. And drills a ball to right center field for the second time in as many days has hit it out. Dalton Rushing with his best 2-day stretch in the big leagues. Double digits for LA again.
Came to the big leagues with a very good offensive resume. We had not seen any of it, but we have seen a lot of it in the last 2 days. Foot down, head down, ball down, launched.
Yeah, it's got to feel good for him. It's all come since what felt like an early low point for him where he took strike 3 on a pitch clock violation. Since then, 5 straight plate appearances where he's reached, and includes those 2 home runs. Kim trying to use his speed to get on, and he does. Infield hit for Kim.
Just gets the big hop over the mound. Once it's up the middle and over the mound with those kind of hops and his speed, it is an infield hit for sure. Watch him fly.
Kim's on. Ohtani's up. One of the 4 home runs tonight for the Dodgers. One of the 13 on this road trip. You know, talking about Rushing, hit just 204 as a rookie last year, and he said that he felt like every time he came up, he had to prove that he could hit. Guy who in the minors was a .280 hitter, OPS above 900. Pretty low strikeout rate. Had to take on a new identity. I mean, he'd always been the guy that you get circled in the lineup, and that was totally flipped. Wasn't the guy anymore. He was the guy they'd come after and usually get out at the bottom of the order.
Came into the game hitting .400, 3 for 3, and a hit by pitch so far. Building himself a nice little padding.
Tendencies to swing too hard when he's not right. So Robert Van Scoyoc this spring was telling him, let's see how many you can just swing as softly as you possibly can as they're working through it. And the ball still jumps off his back because he's so strong. So Tani takes strike 3, 1 gone in the 7th. Then we check in with Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, with Dalton rushing, I know you talked about how with Dave Roberts, I've seen how much growth he's had. But Dave yesterday said, when you look at just the at-bats for Dalton yesterday, of course, you had there in that 4th inning the pitch clock violation in which he was called out. He'd actually said he was calling for time, but the home plate umpire just didn't hear him. So, yes, there was the frustration from that. But then to follow up in the 6th inning with that 2-run homer, Dave Roberts said that was a perfect example of how, last year we would see with to stay focused and stay in the game, even with calling behind the plate. That's just a great example of how he's continued to grow this year in the league, guys.
And the same hurdles, Kirsten and Oro, that he's had to deal with last year, and that is the lack of playing time. That's a crack bat flare down the line and a base hit for Tucker. Up to second goes Kim. And trying to keep that swing dialed in when you're only going to get a few at-bats a week.
The fact that he's had the experience of not having full playing time is going to be a big lesson for him. I'm sure he's starting to develop some new habits, some new ways of going about his business on the days when he's not starting that keep him a little sharper. But it's a shock to your system when you're an everyday player. You've been an everyday player since Little League when you were 8 years old. And now you get here and you're a part-time player.
2 aboard for Freeman. Dodgers trying to pour it on here. 10-1 in the 7th. 2-run home run and then robbed of an extra base hit his last time. Good play out in right field by Straw.
Since the plane landed in Washington and then came here to Toronto, the theme of the offense is anybody who's playing is going to reach base. And pretty much anybody who's playing is going to get a hit. 8 of the 9 Dodgers today have hits.
Freeman lifts a ball to right field and deep. Straw running back on it to the track, to the wall, and watches it hit off the wall. Kim will score. Freeman to second with a double. They're pouring it on. It's 11-1. Second extra base hit of the game for Freddie Freeman, his 5th in 4 games on the trip. And he's knocked in 9 in those 4.
He's a doubles machine. He can hit it a long way over the fence, but he hits so many balls on the barrel and on the line and down the left field line with some slicing action. The doubles just happen off his bat.
Top 30 all time. Teoscar Hernandez, second and third, 1 away. On the other side, this has to feel demoralizing.
First, the injury bug that hits the Blue Jays, and now the embarrassment of the Dodgers coming in town after they get swept by a portion of the schedule that they should think that they're going to do really well at the beginning of the season and kind of get healthy before the Dodgers get here. And now this.
No big deal to have a bad week, but the games all count the same. And in what promises to be a really hotly contested American League East, you look back at the end when you're in a tight race and maybe it doesn't go your way by a game or 2. You're going to look back to getting swept by the White Sox, losing 2 of 3 to the Rockies. At that point, the excuse, well, it's early and just a slow start, that doesn't make it feel any better. That ball's pummeled to right center field. 2 more runs are going to score. Teoscar Hernandez has knocked in 4 today. 13-1. And some boos are raining down.
We can talk about this game and the Dodger offensive explosion. Robleski doing a job. Klein doing a job. Alex Freeland not taking his at-bats into the defensive side of the ball and making great plays. And this Blue Jay offense is nowhere to be seen, and not just in this game. The last 2 games they've scored 1 run and only got 9 hits. They are 9 for their last 53 with no extra base hits. And they're getting pummeled by the Dodgers tonight.
Everybody getting a word with each other. Why don't we get a word from Kia? Muncie's the batter. Outscoring them 13-1, out hitting them 15-3. Max has 2 of those hits. 5 of the top 6 in the order have at least 2 hits. Only exception to that is Kyle Tucker, and he's got 2 walks and a sacrifice fly on top of his 1 base hit. So much of how things go is when you play a team. Dodgers catching the Blue Jays injured and cold. And the Blue Jays catching the Dodgers having just caught fire in those 3 games in D.C.
This one tough for him to watch right now, but he's got 2 pitchers going the next 2 days that make him feel like, you know what, we can turn this around in this series.
Muncie takes strike 3. Tomorrow's pitching matchup as good as it gets. It's Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. It's Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. Gausman has started his season with back-to-back starts of 10+ strikeouts and no walks. The last guy to do that before Kevin Gausman, nobody.
Oh, really?
Ever.
Wow.
To start a season.
I was going to drop a Clayton Kershaw in there.
First at bat for Call. He takes a strike. Call taking advantage of his limited playing time so far this year. On base 7 of his 11 times up. Still has not swung and missed this year.
Last year in the playoffs, Ohtani was on deck and he had a 2-0 count, and he popped a pitch up that probably wasn't right down the middle, inner half. It might have been the at bat that Dave Roberts decided, you know what, I'm going to get Miguel Rojas in there. And it's a negative thing for Alex, but it turned out to be a very positive thing for the Dodgers getting Miggy in there. Because Alex is very comfortable with 4 to 6 to 7 pitch at bats. Very comfortable in 2-strike counts, and had a 2-0 count, and really his job was to get Ohtani to the plate. And popped up on a pitch that wasn't a cookie. It wasn't in the keyhole. It might have been the impetus to get Miggy in there. It can be a little bit of the pressure in the World Series and the adrenaline, and you want to do something to contribute. But contributing for Alex has always been bat control, command of the strike zone, and finding any way to get on.
Short center field, Clement out to make the catch. And in the inning, Dodgers score 4 more runs. Stand and stretch. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Santiago Espinal has replaced Freddie Freeman at first base. Tyler Heineman fouls off Will Klein's first pitch. Talk about catching a team at the right time. Alejandro Kirk, their all-star catcher, took a foul tip off of the thumb on Friday night in Chicago and was going to undergo surgery. They won't know a timeline until they complete that surgery, get in there and really see how bad the damage is. But the all-star, unofficial captain, and a heart and soul guy, they're going to be without for at least a while.
When they're going in there surgery on a thumb, it's probably going to require a pin or 2. You got to put something back together.
It didn't take long for his absence to show up. Heineman came in, and right after he replaced Kirk, fielded a bunt, threw it down the left field line, and eventually the winning walk-off run came in to score for the White Sox. The next day he had another throwing error, and he got thrown out on the bases with 2 outs and Vlad Jr. on deck. Muncy snaps off a throw that's late, and Heineman's got an infield hit.
Catcher running. Normally Max would eat this ball, but with the catcher running, you got a shot. But he beats it.
The Blue Jays letting Bo Bichette go in free agency was a vote of confidence for Andrés Giménez, who is a much better defensive shortstop than Bichette. And if he hits how he's shown he can hit in his career, the drop-off much less drastic offensively. He can't get this one by Kim. Wow, Willie Mays style for Kim. Over the shoulder. And then an awkward crossbody adjustment there at the last second.
Big time defense from the 2 guys in the middle infield. Mookie Betts out with an oblique. Kim says, I'll get it for you. And Freeland has been fantastic at second also.
Boy, where have we seen that before? Andrés Giménez slapping a ball to short left field. And a great defensive play taking a hit from him. Double play to end game 6.
Kike to Miggy. And what a pick Miggy made at second base to kind of retreat a little bit with his glove and his body to play the hop to the exact place where he could get some leather on it.
You know, an undertold story about that is Rojas hurt himself on that play and didn't know if he was going to be able to play in game 7. Injured his ribs. That's actually why Kim was in the game defensively in the 11th inning, because after the Dodgers got the lead, Rojas had been fighting through the pain of those ribs all night. He said, I can hardly stand at this point. Get Kim out there so I don't cost us defensively. This is Jesus Sanchez here pinch hitting. Ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastballs by him 2-2.
Miggy talking baseball with Will Smith. Miggy knew he wasn't playing today, and he's out for the infield practice, and he's watching Kim take balls at shortstop and coming across the bag on double play feeds from first base. And he was working on Kim's footwork and anticipation for what side he wanted the ball.
Jesus Sanchez challenged it and then walked off anyways. If you're that sure, then don't challenge Jesus. They're out of challenges. On to the 3rd strikeout for Dodger pitching. Still need 4 for the Jumbo Jacks. They've had everything else in this game.
I love being halfway there.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic when you called it Jack Math.
Jack Math. That's what they're teaching the kids these days. That's the kind of math they bring home in like 3rd grade where I'm like, wait a minute, why is this so hard? I don't understand what they're teaching you, how they're teaching it. Never feel less smart than when the 3rd grader pulls out the homework. Math homework these days. 0-2 on Davis Schneider.
There was that old game show. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? I would say no.
New math, they're calling it.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to make it more complicated than a calculator.
I still don't honestly know what they're doing with it. I just know that they get to the answers in a lot different way than I was taught to.
Wait till Charlotte's in 7th grade. You'll really love the homework.
Another 0-2 from Klein. He struck him out. Old math. 3 strikes and you're out. It's a 4-home run game for the Dodgers and a beatdown of the Blue Jays in the first of 3 here at the Rogers Center. Continuation of what they were doing in Washington, D.C. They've scored 44 runs in the 4 games on this trip, going deep 13 times. This is Spencer Miles. This is an amazing story. Spencer Miles being in the major leagues at this point, having pitched just a handful of games in pro baseball, period. None of them above low A. Inside ball 1 on Alex Freeland. He got drafted by the Giants in 2022. Handful of games and then had to undergo back surgery. Comes back from that, a couple more games, blows out his arm, Tommy John surgery. So misses a 1.5 years. Gets healthy in time for the Arizona Fall League last year. Was really impressive there. The Blue Jays got him in the Rule 5 draft. And if you get a guy in the Rule 5 draft and you want to keep him, you have to carry him on the big league roster the entire year, no matter what his background is. Freeland flies it to center field, and it's caught by Varsho. Usually that background is going to be a checkered one because the guy's not going to be available in that Rule 5 draft if he's been successful. So you're taking a chance on a guy, hoping that you can kind of hide him through the season, use him in situations like this, and bet on his future.
It is a risky move, but it's a move that organizations make when they think somebody has potential.
Not exactly the same, but a similar thing the Dodgers had to do with Sandy Koufax, who was what was known as a bonus baby. You sign for a certain amount of money, you have to stay in the majors. And so Sandy, those bad numbers early on in his career, that's because he was still learning how to pitch and probably should have been in the minors, but couldn't because of the bonus baby rule. Ball and a strike on rushing. Monster day going for rushing. 3 for 3 with a home run. Cranks another. He's got a second bomb. Who is this guy? Dalton Rushing exploding. Well, there was one Dodger catcher that won the World Series the last time they were in this ballpark. He gets the rest today. And the other one goes deep twice as part of a 4-for-4 night.
Three home runs from the first 4 hitters in the Dodger lineups. And 2 home runs from the 8-hitter. Have a night, Rush.
Kim goes up the middle with a base hit.
Both of Kim's hits up the middle, one an infield version and now a line drive.
First 4-hit game, first multi-home run game. Ohtani to the plate for the 6th time.
You know somebody down there is kidding Will Smith. Well, you better watch it. The kid's coming. You're lucky you hit that home run to win us the World Series. Max is probably giving it to him. Definitely that smile on his face is that little one. Somebody's giving him a hard time.
Ohtani's down swinging. Tucker. Stuff in the stat sheet. A hit, 2 walks, 3 runs, run batted in, stolen base.
$14 to 1. People are not going to be taking strikes. They're going to be swinging.
He did.
Only one taking strikes and challenging it was Sanchez. That was odd.
There have been a few odd moments for Jesus Sanchez through the years. Jesus Sanchez, I don't know who hit the ball, but there was a game when he was in Miami. He scaled the wall in left field as if he was about to make the greatest home run robbery in baseball history. And the ball landed at the edge of the warning track.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Rick's telling us that was Marcell Ozuna. I know Ozuna did it.
You think maybe
Sanchez did it too?
Well, let's get it right. We don't want to have any arguments around the cage tomorrow.
Bouncing ball to first for Vlad Jr. He'll feed him on the bag. To end the inning, Dalton Rushing. 2 home runs tonight, 3 the last 2 days. Everybody having fun. 14 to 1. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Ford dealers. Discover the complete Ford lineup, rugged, stylish, and powerful trucks and SUVs engineered for your adventures. That is a lot of offense. 14 runs on 17 hits, only 1-0 put up by Blue Jays pitching. And Dalton Rushing, who had 4 home runs last year, has 3 the last 2 days. Edgardo Enriquez is on for Vlad Jr. And a fastball is fouled straight back. As a testament to the fact that velocity is not everything, Enriquez throws as fast as anybody in franchise history. And this year, opponents are 4 for 4 against that fastball.
Big leaguers can time a bullet. You got to have something to go with it, and you really can't live near the middle of the plate. We know the whole equation is not about velocity because 100 miles an hour gets hit and knuckleballs work. The knuckleball with tremendous movement, their hitter really doesn't know where it's going. They're only just trying to throw it over the plate somewhere. They don't care where. And 100 mile an hour, 102 mile an hour in the middle gets hit. Now velocity does give you a bigger spray pattern.
There's velocity built right to the corner to get Vlad Jr.
Yeah. It's a night that Vlad wants to end sooner rather than later.
Okamoto grounds it foul.
If you can throw it 97 miles an hour and approximately in the strike zone most of the time, okay. But I'd rather you throw it 95 or 94 and really know where it's going. So if that extra bit of effort makes you miss the target by 6 to 10 inches, I'd rather you miss the target by 2 to 3, 4 inches and be 3 mph slower.
Okamoto's got 2 of their 4 hits in this game. Down 1 and 2, had his knees buckled right there on a cutter.
Yeah, he's hit the fastball really well tonight. The up fastball, waist high or slightly above.
Down on this fastball. And so the heater that had been nothing but hit first few outings for Enriquez has produced a couple strikeouts here.
Getting some better counts here. A lot more anxiety in a hitter in anticipation of something when you have a pitcher's count.
This is a fun matchup here. The velocity against the bat to ball expert Ernie Clement takes a strike.
Just 102 mph sinker.
Clement drove in their lone run. That was in the first inning. 2 hits since then, or 3 hits since then. Nope, just 2 hits since then. 3 others overall. Enriquez comes home with a 1-1. Bouncing ball to third. Routine for Max Muncy. 1-2-3 8th inning for Edgardo Enriquez. On to the 9th in Toronto. Tune in after the ball game. Access SportsNet Dodgers presented by Mercury Insurance. Dalton Rushing, the star of the show tonight with 2 home runs. Tyler Heineman is on to pitch the 9th. Santiago Espinal taken outside for a ball. Espinal's first at bat of the evening, had his first big hit as a Dodger, first hit period, and knocked in a couple of runs as part of that comeback yesterday.
You got to challenge that call right there.
Having a few good laughs. Vince and his old teammate right here.
He's throwing 40 miles an hour or slower.
Waits on it. Into center. Varsho runs it down.
Velocity doesn't matter.
Right. Let him hit it.
There's got to be an arc rule here.
Slow pitch softball style.
Yeah, it looks like he's got about a 6-foot arc maximum. You can go a little higher. Oh, 70
heat. Hernandez, another home run today. He's knocked in 4. Ephus. It showed up as Ephus. Again.
Depending on where you release the ball from, I wonder how many miles an hour it takes to get it to home plate in the air. Maybe like 30.
Nice. '78.
Dialing it up. The fly ball to center was 62 miles an hour.
Jimenez. 2 out.
Changing speeds, keeping the ball down.
Starting to think about a comeback?
No, I would like a screen in front of me.
Muncy. 2 hits, 3 Ks though. Vlad Jr. to Heineman, who's got a 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Blue Jays are their first thing to cheer about. Game 7 of the World Series has been followed by a game where Tyler Heineman pitched the top of the 9th and Miguel Rojas will pitch the bottom of the 9th. A little more high stress last time he was involved in a ball game here. He's going to rack up the pitching totals in his career. His 9th career appearance. Varsho into right center field. A leadoff hit. On his way to second, a double. Miles Straw. Ooh, challenge that.
I was with you.
Same time, same place tomorrow night. Yamamoto for the Dodgers, Gausman for the Blue Jays. Rematch of games 2 and 6. Straw walks. Talking to Miguel before the game, he was soaking it all in, continuing his tour of enjoying every minute of being the World Series hero. A lot of media wanted to talk to him, and he hits Heineman here to load the bases. Rojas arguing that he stuck his arm in front of it.
Could easily called it a strike. If his elbow's not there, he might be in the strike zone.
Andres Jimenez found the zone right there with an eephus of his own. Left side, Muncy. Only play is at first. That's a tough play. Him to shift those hips like that. Varsho's in to score 14-2. And a sarcastic cheer from this crowd.
He was anticipating going to second, but then, yes, made a strenuous throw to first accurately.
Pinch hitter right here. This is Brandon Valenzuela, who made his major league debut yesterday and had a hit in his first game. Catcher got the call up when Alejandro Kirk went down. Like Kirk from Mexico. He's from Hermosillo. Pop up on the diamond. See if Russian's got room. He does. 2 out. David Schneider comes up. So the Dodgers take care of business against the Nationals, and it was overwhelming for the first couple games of that series. The comeback win yesterday. Beat the teams you should. And then this highly anticipated matchup, and they have just overwhelmed the Blue Jays in this first game.
Yeah, it turned into a laugher. You hit 5 home runs and you pitch well, you're going to win with the scoreboard looking the way it is.
Ohtani had one of those 5 home runs. Rushing had 2 of them. Justin Robleski's going to get his first win since August of 24. 2 scoreless relief innings from Will Klein, one of them from Edgardo Enriquez. Stacking together impressive offensive days. And first win, I should say, as a starter for Robleski. Since August of 24, he's had relief wins.
Robleski did well in the World Series, and he did well coming back here to the ballpark the next year.
So Dodgers and Blue Jays, or Dodgers and Brewers, will both be 8-2.
Yankees off.
Sitting at 7-2. Brewers just went final. 8-6 win over the Red Sox, who are now 2-8. Ground ball left side. Muncy's got it. Dodgers in a World Series rematch roll the Blue Jays 14-2.
What a way to keep the road trip going. The bats are hot, the pitching is solid, and they've got 2 more here in Toronto.
Can't beat tomorrow's pitching matchup. Yamamoto for the Dodgers, Gausman for the Blue Jays. 7 o'clock here in Toronto, 4 o'clock back in Los Angeles. For Earl Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Toronto. Stay tuned for Access SportsNet Dodgers, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night.